Welcome to Asian Star Trend. I'm Hannah, and today we've got some hot and trending news to share with you. Sweet little moments that leave a lasting impression. It started with a single clip unearthed not by the media, but by an unsuspecting fan scrolling through archived footage. Within hours, the behind-the-scenes video spread like wildfire across fan forums, carrying with it the kind of magic no scripted moment could replicate. The scene in question was a kiss. Not an on-screen kiss, but the quiet, fragile seconds before the cameras rolled. Meng, usually poised under pressure, was visibly restless. He paced the set in small, deliberate steps, his movements betraying an inner mix of tension and anticipation. At times his gaze fell to the ground, brows furrowed in thought. At others, he cast quick glances around the set, his eyes holding the bashful sparkle of someone standing on the edge of a vulnerable moment. The crew watched, some smiling, some holding their breath. And then, without fanfare, Shensi appeared at his side. No words were exchanged. No cameras directed the gesture. She simply reached into her pocket, produced a single peppermint candy, and placed it gently in his hand. It was a gesture so small it could have been missed, yet it was precisely this kind of detail that pierced through the noise of staged romance. In that peppermint lay 1,000 unspoken reassurances. I'm here, you're not alone, we'll get through this together. For viewers, the sweetness wasn't in the candy itself, but in the intimacy of the exchange, proof that genuine connection often hides in the spaces between the big, dramatic beats. It reminded fans why they watch in the first place, not just for grand declarations, but for the quiet, human moments that make them believe in love all over again. The kind of sweetness you can't script. It began with a peppermint. In a fan-discovered behind-the-scenes clip, Meng was pacing the set before a kiss scene, his steps small and restless. The anticipation in his eyes betrayed a quiet vulnerability, a rare glimpse beneath his usual composure. Then, without a word, Shensi appeared. She slipped a peppermint into his hand, a gesture so understated it might have been missed, yet it spoke volumes. The peppermint wasn't just candy, it was silent care, a wordless understanding that existed only between the two of them. In that instant, all the tension seemed to dissolve, replaced by a gentleness that needed no explanation. Fans later joked it was so sweet it made their teeth ache, as if all the uncertainty and anticipation had condensed into the purest form of protection. Moments like these, raw and unscripted, often outshine the most carefully crafted on-screen romance. They are the moments fans replay endlessly, searching for every subtle glance and shift of body language, because they feel real. And for Meng, reality and memory intersected again on a very different night. In an interview, when asked about his most unforgettable scene, he didn't hesitate. It was a freezing night shoot. The crew had chosen real water to simulate rain, and soon he was drenched, clothes clinging to his skin, cold biting into his bones. Yet he clenched his teeth, pouring himself into every line and movement. Somewhere between the peppermint's quiet comfort and the rain's relentless chill lies the truth of why fans connect so deeply, because in both, they see not just actors, but people. And in those moments, they're reminded that the heart of a story often beats loudest in the smallest details, when the smallest gestures tell the biggest stories. It began with a peppermint. In a fan-discovered behind-the-scenes clip, Meng paced nervously before a kiss scene, his steps small and uneven, anticipation flickering in his eyes. Then, without a word, Shensi appeared, pressing a single peppermint into his palm. That small, silent act seemed to dissolve the tension, replacing it with a warmth that spoke louder than dialogue ever could. Fans later joked the moment was so sweet it made their teeth ache, but beneath the teasing was a shared understanding. Some emotions can't be scripted. Another such moment came on a bitterly cold night. For the sake of authenticity, the crew used real water to create rain. Soon, Meng was drenched, his clothes clinging to him, the chill sinking deep into his bones. Yet he pressed on, every line delivered with unshakable focus. As soon as the director called cut, Shensi strode over without hesitation, removed his coat, and wrapped it gently around Meng's shoulders. It wasn't just clothing, it was a shield, a safe harbor, carrying Shensi's body warmth and unspoken care. Staff and bystanders, moved by the sight, quietly snapped photos. Within hours, the images were online, sparking a wave of comments. "This isn't acting," one post read, This is a real-life idol drama speculation swirled. Were they just colleagues, or something more? What delighted fans most wasn't the grand gestures, but the way Meng and Shensi's eyes found each other on or off camera, igniting a spark only they seemed to understand. Every glance felt like a story, every touch a line in a script they were writing together, far from the reach of any director's hand. When fiction starts to feel real on screen, Meng and Shensi's chemistry seemed to spill past the edges of the frame. Netizens joked that whenever they appeared together, the air filled with pink bubbles. Off-screen, whether in interviews or fleeting backstage moments, they carried that same magnetic pull, drawing delighted screams from fans. Shensi's gaze toward Meng brimmed with tenderness, admiration, and a quiet hint of indulgence. In return, Meng's eyes shone with trust and reliance. It was the kind of connection that felt unforced, as if an invisible red string bound them. True feelings can't be hidden, fans said. Your eyes will always give you away. Every glance between them seemed to tell a private story, blurring the line between fiction and reality. The intrigue only deepened in the face of CP rumors. Neither confirmed nor denied, just the occasional shared smile, as if the sweetest truths were better left unsaid. That restraint became its own form of intimacy, letting fans fill in the gaps with their own imagined narratives. Behind-the-scenes clips and casual interviews only fueled the fascination. Hashtags on Weibo, Douban, and TikTok shot up the hot search rankings, sparking endless threads. Netizens called their rapport so sweet it makes your teeth ache. Even reality TV wouldn't dare script this. Some poured over every shared frame, screenshotting to analyze subtle shifts in expression or tone, eager to find evidence of something more in the fandom. Two camps emerged, one hoping for a public confession to make the pairing real, the other content to keep the romance confined to the screen. But whichever side they chose, both agreed on one thing: Meng and Shensi's connection was impossible to ignore. In the end, perhaps the greatest magic lay in not knowing where the story truly ended beyond the screen. The quiet power of Tenderness, what began as a drama pairing, has grown into something far larger, a fan-driven phenomenon that feels rare in today's fast, noisy entertainment world. Perhaps that is why Meng and Shensi have struck such a deep chord, becoming, for many, the most beautiful screen couple in memory. Watching them, whether in carefully shot scenes or grainy behind-the-scenes clips, doesn't feel like passive entertainment. Instead, we become participants in their emotional journey. In tense moments, they remain quietly by each other's side. On cold nights, a code is offered without a word. When one is weary, the other is simply there. These gestures may seem small, yet they carry a sincerity that seeps straight into the viewer's heart. Their devotion enriches not just the characters they portray, but also the people who watch them. In an age of relentless noise, such moments remind us that love still exists in its most unadorned form, pure, steadfast, and deeply human. Tenderness, after all, need not be grand. It lives in the details, a peppermint candy that becomes the sweetest reassurance when it comes from the right hand, a coat that shields not only from the wind, but from loneliness, a gaze that holds 1,000 unspoken words. These fragments of care cut through the clutter of daily life, illuminating our quiet yearning for love. May we all find our own tenderness in the everyday, cherishing sincerity, and warming one another with kindness in life's most delicate moments. For in those moments, love and warmth never truly fade. And as Meng and Shensi continue their story, one thing is certain: the sweetest scenes are often the ones that happen when no one is acting.